This is Gary Butterfield.
This is Cole Ross.
And my friends, has finally come to an end. This is Monster My Podcast.
And this is the end of Beholderfest 2017.
There's a monster in my podcast.
Yep, I'm still waiting for all of your Beholder guests. Beholder.
We should have gotten Beholder guests, Gary.
I'm still waiting for your Beholderfest gifts.
Okay.
To arrive for me in the mail.
Send me Beholder gifts. Like, I don't care. Just
from
games, from TV shows, you know.
It's
I want gifts of Beholders. So we're here to kind of hit up the entire last section of this, which is the Beholder creations, which are like magical items, and then some stuff about their architecture, and then, you know, the way that they campaign against humans. I think the real meat here is the creations, these magical items, which are just a whole bunch of implements to help them navigate the whole world,
including that armor which we mentioned before.
Yes.
So they can, if they want to ride around on a body, they can either have a zombie or an animate set of armor.
Mm-hmm.
They get options.
Ooh, spoiled for choice.
And this picture is like really something else.
It really is.
Like, it's real weird. It is
His
uncomfortable.
head is so big.
Yeah.
Its head is easily the mass of its torso, and also it is harnessed onto the thing itself. Like, he's wearing. Look at him. He's got like a belt.
Yeah, he's got a little leather strap to keep it in there, which means that this thing could float too. You could imagine like the Beholder floaling away, and this armor just like
just hanging limply below it.
Yeah, until it hits the ground and then starts running. Like, man, I wish there was a good movie with Beholders in it. Like, I hate that the Beholder that I've seen on film is the one from the D&D movie, and he floats behind a tent.
Terrible.
It is like nothing happens with him.
What about the Binfalcar or the Balldozer?
The Balldozer.
Yeah, this is something that a gnome invented for them to save its own life.
Yeah, which I like that. I like that little hook. Little thing there. Yeah.
Well, it's not actually said, but just like that is what I believe.
Well, like it would almost have to be though, right? Because who's inventing the Balldozer? That already sounds like a gnome thing. This is like a gigantic teacup that they wear that turns them into like this bulldozing thing, so they can ram along the ground and destroy shit.
It turns them into Marble Madness balls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Doom, doom. So little vehicles. Pretty great. You know, and just imagining this like gigantic sphere like barreling towards you, you know, and then you dodge out of the way a spear, and the Beholder comes out. Like, fuck.
Well, they can also use their eyes out of it, so it's a big laser emitting ball.
Yeah. Because they're real, like they're, you know, space stoners. Like, they do the light show, they do this. Like, just imagining like disco ball lights, you know, eye stalk beams going everywhere.
Of course.
Display shackles are floating tethers, like that look like eyes that they can, you know, tie you to.
Yeah.
Like shackle you to.
They come in both humanoid, which has 10 shackles, or Beholder, or humanoid has 5 and Beholder has 10.
Yes. Yeah. Which I love the idea of them shackling up a Beholder. Again, that's an adventure hook.
There's the Lifter, which is their own portable dumbwaiter. It's like it's like Tensor's floating disc.
Yeah. Who gives a shit? Tensor got the shit on lock.
Yeah.
The mouth pick.
Oh, so many mouth picks, Gary.
This is just like it's like when you find somebody without a hand,
right? And
they've got that kind of utility claw thing.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes
it's Woody Harrelson and Kingpin. Yeah.
Yes. This is exactly Woody Harrelson and Kingpin, except for a Beholder's tongue.
Yep. So it is an armature that they carry around in their mouth, and they manipulate it with their lips and their tongue. And they have ones for combat and ones for just going around and scratching the asses. Yep. And yeah, it's just a way to give themselves arms that sometimes stretch out as long as 12 feet.
There's one of them that's illustrated here that's definitely for highlight.
Oh yeah.
Like there's one that's a scoop there, or like if you take your dog to the park and you want to throw that tennis ball really far, it's one of those things.
Yeah. But it's of how intricate and baroque these things are.
Yes. Yeah. Pretty ridiculous. And honestly, like, I feel like this was designed like something backwards. Like, somebody asked, like, how could a Beholder do this?
Yeah.
And rather than answering properly, which is like get a slave to do it. Like, they're like, well, you know.
You know what it's like? It's like those animated GIFs of Fallout Equestria. Showing how the ponies fire guns.
Yes. It is a lot like that. God, Fallout Equestria.
Oh, man.
I wonder if there's an RPG Maker game of that, so we can do it for Abject Suffering at some point.
I'm positive there is, at least of one chapter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got reverse grav zones and sticky ceilings. Yay.
Yeah, just traps.
Yeah, and then sphere mirrors.
Yes,
which are ways for beholders to trap other beholders to get their beams to bounce back at themselves.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, again, because sometimes beholders fight against each other.
Mm-hmm.
We get into beholder architecture, which comes with this really cool map of a beholder doing this awesome bank shot.
Oh yeah,
on this adventure.
It's the family circus, like Jeffrey going all over town.
Yeah, exactly, with his dead grandpa. Yeah. It shows all their different kinds of things, like, and it seems like this should not be a generalized thing. Like, this seems like this should be a specific beholder's layer. To me,
it should, or also just like, hey, here are some rooms that you might see in a particular beholder's lair. Like, I like the idea of a Slither tunnel. That was an okay movie.
Yeah, I love a Slither tunnel.
I wish you loved it less.
Like, but then like a false gallery. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, if every beholder has a false gallery, like, at some point, it's gonna get a little tiresome. Yeah. But you move through. They've got the different rooms you would think they would have. They have their meat locker, the prison, library, etc. Trophy gallery. It goes on for quite a while.
Yeah.
I love the and then they have that lavatory, which is just like, still seems beneath them to me.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to keep on digging a new one. Just turns into stone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just dig shit to make room for shit. The weird thing about their layers is they kind of look like beholders, and they're designed like such.
Yes.
In a weird way,
because everything should be in their image. Yeah.
Yes.
And their cities, the way that they live are like wasp nests, except their individual layers become these arrangements of tubes. Like, they live in these gigantic cylinders.
It's very complicated.
Yeah.
It made me want a 3D map of it, or like a screensaver that explored one.
Yeah, I want to like run around this in Metroid Prime.
Yeah. That'd be a good game for that. So you kind of move on through that. There's more pictures of this stuff. Pretty cool. Mm-hmm. We get probably the last like good chapter.
Yeah.
I think in the book is the campaigning beholders, and this is where we learn about again, just like forward perfect sentences, beholders and their war making. Yes, please give me that.
Yep. So describing the reasons and means by which they wage war on each other and on surrounding communities. My favorite. My favorite image out of all of this, one of them, I think that, like, if the book ended here, it would have been fine. Talking about attacking a city. Instead of floating to the city out from the forest, they may climb to a great height and quietly descend into the middle of the city.
Yes, that's really good. They're terrorists.
Yeah.
Like, their whole thing is that they attack the city for like a half hour. Mm-hmm. And they just want to cause harm.
Yeah.
Like, they don't fight the warriors. Like, they set fire to buildings, and then when people try to put out the fire, they prioritize killing those people. Mm-hmm. It's like they're playing Warcraft, and it's like kill the peasants trying to save the town hall. And then they just leave after a half hour. Mm-hmm. And the idea being is that they come back every night in these different ways, like sometimes from the forest, sometimes from the sky, sometimes from underground, etc. Eventually, it becomes so more like this neighborhood's lousy.
Yeah. Sometimes appearing from the ground like trapdoor spiders.
Yeah. Which they can do, because when you can disintegrate, you can do pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And there's this whole section of like successful, ways to fight them off, none of which seem like they'd be successful.
Oh, no.
Like, archers concealed in arrow-slitted boardwalks. Dog, you just spent this whole time telling me that every foundation, every defense is worthless because they can disintegrate it. What's stopping them from disintegrating these arrow-slitted boardwalks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
turning them into literal murder holes. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Just like
having mages posted up on the parapets. No, you can't.
There ain't no parapets. Like, once you get a beholder in play, like, parapets are gone.
Yeah.
They also, we talk about when they fight each other, they do this thing called dog fighting.
But it's real slow.
It's real slow because they float, they don't fly. And what they're trying to do, it's like a reverse of joust.
Uh-huh.
They're trying to bite each other's butts.
Yep.
And hang on and just like gnaw on each other's butts until that one dies. Like, these guys got to eat ass. These guys are so thirsty. Like, you can only eat one. This beholder's ass or this bucket of KFC, and you've been going through the desert for years. Which one do you eat? That's beholders.
And that's Beholderfest.
Yep. This is an extremely good book that everyone should buy.
It's really good. You brought it to my attention, Gary. Like the second I found out there was a whole book about this, I was like, yeah, obviously we're doing Beholderfest. I'm so happy that it was just served up to us on a platter. Next year is going to be difficult. We're just going to have to
next year, especially since we're going to do an extra week every year.
Yeah.
So that's going to make it double.
We did
double
we did 2 weeks last year, I think.
Yeah, so we have to do 4 to make up for lost time, and that's going to be very difficult.
Right.
But we'll find a way to do it. We'll do our 12 episodes.
Yeah. I wonder if by that time there's going to be like an extended Volo's guide on Beholders.
The Volo's guide section on Beholders will get us through a week.
Okay.
It's got some new stuff.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's not quite as like whimsical and dumb as this is.
Yeah.
This is really peak D&D, I think. If I was trying to explain to somebody why I love D&D, this book is a really good example. Like the fact that Beholders don't like fried foods is really up there.
And just all of their least favorite foods resemble balls or orbs to the point where one of them is just a euphemism for balls.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy how good it is.
Yeah, it's written with such a voice. It's so consistent throughout. It only falls down when it becomes like stat oriented. Like when I remember that it's a game book kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I would love to see if they did an updated version of this or something. I would want it like no stats.
Yeah.
Like there's not tons of stats on the Volo's guide.
Mm-hmm.
Give me no stats.
Just give me ideas. Like give me hooks.
I just want.
I can, so see, the weird thing is these systems have gotten so simple that you can just kind of like put together the character sheet. You can kind of cobble together what the rules for this would be, for like an effective storytelling kind of game.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Love it. I don't have a joke to end this on. I feel like it's been a good couple weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. Love it so much.
I hope that everybody else has enjoyed it as well. We've had a tremendous time. It's sad because right now it is the longest time it's ever going to be until the next Beholderfest. But we're going to get through it together, okay?
Yeah. And we still have we have good stuff coming.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, just wait until you get to the mammal small entry of another of the Planescape supplement.
Yeah. We are far from the dark times right now.
Yes. So Umbasa.
Brought to you by our backers at patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv.